Yeah, let the big dog hunt. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Kallas Remarks with your host, Joe Staszak, co-host Steve Kallas. March 7th, Steven, 1 week away from Selection Sunday. Can't get here fast enough with all the stimulating sports going on around us. Um, we have the warm stove football news. Max Crosby. I guess we'll lead with him. Max Crosby, a Baltimore Raven. Now, they got two number ones for him. This is something that Baltimore seems to do often. They go for the big splash. They get a name and he's going to help their defense, no question about it. And I think Joe Burrow might retire because he's got Myles Garrett, he's got Watt from Pittsburgh, and now he has Max Crosby in the division. 6 games against those two. He's going to help the team. I know a lot of people in Philadelphia are disappointed that the Eagles didn't acquire an elite pass rusher. They might also lose Jalen Phillips in free agency, so they need to do some things. We'll get to A.J. Brown a little bit, but I like Max Crosby. He didn't want to tank last year. He's a gamer. He likes to play. He has a passion for the game of football, and I know that he's got a high motor. I mean, shouldn't they all have high motors? Like, is that like a thing that's like a specialty, a high motor when you play hard? But he does. He brings it. He's with the Rave now, and their new administration. What do you think of that trade?
I have so much respect for Max Crosby because last year, now I'd love to know, and I never heard, maybe you did. Did he go in and demand a trade? Because last year when he was talking, they did that interview after the game before they were going to dump, and they told him he wasn't playing, which was the dumping. And he said, no, I'm fine. I'm good. I could play. And they went and talked to him. And the reporters went and talked to him. He said, look, man, I could play. I want to play. I really want to play. And most people would have been happy to bail out. But he was pissed off that he
Pissed,
bailed
but
out.
sometimes, I don't know how bad the knee was, but you can make that worse. And I know some players don't want to hear that, and they want to. But it was clearly a dumping situation. But then they lose by 30 anyway. To like with the Giants, did the Giants beat them that day? I thought because the Giants were trying to tank, or at least in theory tank too, and they ended up winning like 38-3. I don't think
No,
Max Crosby
we don't
would have had an
tank.
effect on that
They
game.
always win those big games at the end of the year.
Always do.
Number one pick.
Always
It's 2
do.
years in a row, by the way.
Yep.
2 years in a row. But no, I got tremendous respect for him. He's going to help the Ravens. The Ravens have the questions, though. It's hard to blame Harbaugh for all these tough losses in the last few years. Is Lamar ever going to be Lamar in the playoffs? Things like that. But Max Crosby is only a big plus for the defense, which hasn't been the Ravens' defense of old. Their defense got better at the end of this past season. That's true. And he's only going to help them.
It's going to help them. But if you don't have that quarterback who can elevate his game in the playoffs, and there's still time. Listen, I mean,
Correct.
things can change. Look, Sam Darnold won a Super Bowl. I had him. I was killing him. Next to Andy Reid, he might be the most attacked guy by yours truly, like in the history of the NFL. He was great this year and last year, and a good dude. And I'm happy. I'm happy for him. He had a rough time when he was with the Jets, seeing ghosts and all that stuff. He's going to get paid too, a little bit extra kachinga this year. This is going to help the Ravens, but again, we'll see what Lamar brings, and with the new administration, because his game goes down in the playoffs, and he's had enough. There's enough sample size. What are you doing? Like, what are you guys doing here? He puts the ball in the carpet. Maybe he feels like he has to do everything or too much or be Superman when he should let maybe the game come. I don't know, but I watch him. You watch him. You see what happens. Now, not everything's his fault. Remember, he had a 2-point conversion to the tight end who fumbled earlier in the fourth quarter 2 years ago, and he dropped it. I mean, sometimes you just can't get it right. But so that's what's going on there. The A.J. Brown talk just continues, and everyone. Listen, I'm no genius, and I think that's well documented. But I mean, the fans in this town are just ready. Get rid of him. Okay, you just want to get rid of him because he's mouthy a little bit sometimes after a game. He's probably still the best player on the team, despite how bad of a year he had and how bad of a year it was. He had 1,000 yards, 78 catches. I know what's left in people's mind, at least mine, is the San Francisco game where he wasn't dialed in for that game. I don't think he ever will tank a game because when the ball's thrown to him, he wants to perform. Did not perform well in that game, and then he left. And he doesn't. It wasn't a good look. But Howie, I trust Howie that he will make a move if it improves the team. But I wouldn't just summarily dismiss him. Now, report came out yesterday, very reliable source, that the New England Patriots, your boys, Johnny's team, and that was kind of where everyone thought he was going. Good connection with Mike Vrabel. He was with him in Tennessee before the GM let Howie, swindle him. And they still get along. Patriots need a receiver. The offer apparently was a 1 and a 3. Normally you'd say that sounds good in theory, but the Patriots came in second this year and they're going to draft 31st. That one's not really that attractive. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the question has to be from the get-go. Okay, we'll get rid of A.J. Brown. Who's taking his place?
Thank you. And if they lose Dallas Goedert, who's scoring touchdowns for this team?
He walks into the Patriots locker room. He's the number one receiver. He walks into a lot of locker rooms. He's the number one
receiver.
Now, I don't know if there still has to be something to get him on the point where he should keep his cool and play real hard. I don't know if that's in his, he likes to say what's on his mind, which can often be not good. But he's a grade A receiver. I think the Eagles need him. I'll say it again. If he ever leaves, the first question when we talk is going to be, well, who's taking his place on the Eagles? So I think Howie did the right thing. I think he'd certainly help the Patriots. The Patriots could use a real number one receiver.
They released Stephon Diggs.
They have good receivers, but I don't know that Diggs is even the number one anymore. But AJ
No, he's not. He did not do a whole lot in the Super Bowl or even in that run, which is interesting because he was, despite I guess a little bit of a conflict with Josh Allen, he did pretty well in Buffalo. I'm not sure why that went sour. Might have been like an A.J. Brown thing. He wanted he wanted the ball more, and Josh Allen wasn't looking his way too much, and which I can never understand. You got your number one guys out there. Remember the Super Bowl where the Rams? In fact, you texted me right before they went on that fight. Just throw the ball to Cooper Kupp. Just throw the ball to Cooper Kupp, and that's what he did. Stafford, boom! You were like in his headset. Boom, 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 boom. Touchdown, MVP.
Yeah.
Super Bowl.
Deep analysis there.
Yeah, right. Well, sometimes it's not overthinking it.
And Cooper Kupp came back to be a big help this year, even though
he was tremendous this year.
Right.
Won another one. That catch he made in the NFC title game toward the sidelines. I mean,
quarterbacks now. Geno Smith is leaving town.
Yeah, I think someone figured out because he got Pete Carroll fired twice in back-to-back years. So
the list is Malik Willis, who I like. He could be a starter. I don't know if he's ever gotten that full chance, but Geno Smith's available now. Malik Wallace is available. Kyler Murray is available. And I saw on ESPN Kirk Cousins is available.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty good list of quarterbacks.
It is.
A team like the Jets, I think, is going to reach into their pockets and pay one of these guys.
What is going on with Kyler Murray? Like, I get it, he likes his video games or whatever, but he can play like a video game, and I know he never elevated the team, but Jonathan Gannon, he went there and didn't, for whatever reason, they've still not been able to get it right, but what are they doing at quarterback if they get rid of it's like, all right, who are you replacing him with? They don't come.
I think Joe, I think that's good for Kyler Murray because he desperately needs a new address.
Oh, I think so too. I do agree with that. And he'll probably do well somewhere, maybe in a system that has an offensive quarterback coach. I mean, Gannon was a defensive guy and whatever, and Kyler Murray got paid a lot of money, and can look really fabulous, but he was hurt a lot last year, and our boy. What's his name? Backed him up, played pretty well. But yeah, it looks like the end of an era in Arizona for him. Kirk Cousins just keeps getting tossed around.
Did you say end of an era? E-R-R?
Yeah, end of an era, pretty much.
Good for you. No,
that's what Arizona is. It's they seem like they have good players, and they added a couple Eagles and Josh Sweat, and but they can't seem to get there. But I don't know. Again, you get rid of Kyler Murray, who has a lot of talent, let's say. Great. You want to move on? Sure. What's your move? I don't know. I don't know
There's a few other things. How about DJ Moore to the Bills?
How about that?
That's pretty good. The Bears get a second round pick, but I don't know. I
Who's
think
catching
the
the ball for the Bears next year? Anyone?
exactly who's replacing DJ
He was
Moore.
great. I mean, he was their guy. He was Caleb Williams' guy.
And
So
David Montgomery goes to the Texans, and immediately Joe Mixon asks for his release and gets his release. So Joe Mixon is gone, but David Montgomery is a Texan, and they gave Danielle Hunter a 1 year extension for 2027. They're giving him 40 million. I don't know what he's getting this year, but it ain't 40 million, I don't think. And so they gave him one more. The Texans, what are we going to say all the time after that first year? Which quarterback is showing up?
I mean, he was horrendous. I know the weather was he was horrendous. The weather was bad in that playoff game. He threw like a pick every third pass. C.J. Stroud. It's the only reason that the Patriots, who Drake May, he looked like Steph Curry dribbling the ball up and down the field. That game, and who was worse? Okay. Yeah, it's a tough thing to get the quarterback right. It just really is. I'm hearing Kyler Murray to Minnesota possibly. I don't know what that means for J.J. McCarthy. I don't know if they've seen
Well,
enough of him, but again, the best abilities, your availability, he's always hurt.
well, one of the dumbest mistakes they ever made, they just wouldn't pay.
Thank
So
you.
they
They
got, I
had
mean,
a franchise guy.
we talked about it at the time. They're
Yeah, we
14
talked about it at the
wins,
time.
14 wins this year. Plus, he
They,
goes
they
on.
got freaked because the Rams sacked him 7 times in the playoff game, and Detroit bum rushed him at the end of the year.
Did you
Okay,
hear
Detroit was
about
one.
the Lions left tackle, Taylor Decker? They wanted
Yes.
him they wanted him to take a pay cut. He said, I'm not taking the pay cut. And so he's now a free agent.
Well, Buddy
And
used
the
to tell his player, well, he'll take a 30% cut or he'll get a 100% cut. Gary Clark, he said that to once, and
Yeah.
he did.
But I don't think their line is not as superior as it was. And now this is not going to help them anymore. And I'll say it again, I'm always afraid Campbell. I love Campbell, especially as a player, tight end for the Giants, but to me, he still can make that big mistake in a big spot. So I don't know if they've already peaked.
He has
Obviously,
that
they're super
player's
talented.
mentality that it's like, all right, let's do this. We're gonna, man on man. There are sometimes you have to take the three, take the field goal, go
That's
back
right.
sometimes to the old principles.
And did you see I guess it's an annual thing now. Did you see the Aaron Rodgers interview? Well, they haven't offered me anything yet. We haven't spoken yet. I really don't know.
I'm still,
And
waffling and smoking.
apparently the Steelers want him, by the way. I don't know how good the Steelers are with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I mean, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, and
Well,
he's
he's
been
back
what?
with Mike McCarthy if he does. That's an interesting dynamic.
Good
I
point.
mean, again,
Good point.
okay, let's play that out. Okay, you don't sign Aaron Rodgers again. What's your backup plan? I know he's 43 and everything, and he's not who he used to be, maybe. But I've seen him play well. I saw him play well at times last year. I didn't like the whole avoiding Miles Garrett thing and worrying about. It seemed like he was worrying about giving up that
You're right.
record-breaking
That's that.
sack.
Yeah.
But I
Oh,
mean,
The
you could
the
still
final
make it.
QB I'll throw into the mix is Tua, but he's apparently impossible to trade, so he's got so much money coming.
Nice to be Tua. Well, you have the Raiders. Probably it's not a rich quarterback class either. You have basically Fernando Mendoza and Ty Simpson. They're the only two players in the top 50 on Bleacher Report's scouting pre-draft board. I'm thinking he's going to go to the Raiders. Again, that's how you start your team with a quarterback. Is he the guy? I don't know. He seems to 16-0 last year, 16-0. I didn't think he was impressive in the championship game, but he wins. I've seen Jalen Hurts be
He made that big
unimpressive.
play. He made that unbelievable.
There's two
Uh,
there's two iconic plays in the history of college football, and they play, and that's another one. The other one was Doug Flutie against. So I have to watch. I've had the subject to watch that every Thanksgiving. Now I'm going to have to watch in super slow mo break like 19 tackles on a quarterback draw. I can't. I just can't.
oh boy.
So, but no, I do respect the kid. I mean, I know he speaks like he's a walking AI and he has these canned answers, but he seems like a good kid and he's pretty tough. And remember, Signetti, second year, wins a championship, but that was only Mendoza's first year. They lost 2 games the year before, beat Oregon twice, beat Ohio State, and well, we know what happened
Here we
January
are.
19th.
Yep.
So we'll see what they do there. I think I think they're going to draft him, um, and then Ty Simpson. I don't know. I mean, he had a good pro day. I don't really care about pro days. The thing that gets me is the intangibles. Oh, he has like big hands, and oh, his wingspan is. Show me the tape. How'd you play on Saturday? You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's your resume. That's your resume.
That's
You
right.
might have small hands, but if you had like 9 interceptions, you must be doing something else right. But anyway, I know it's good for the interviews and everyone congregates, but anyway, when I'm king of the world, I'll fix that. So let's move on to hoops. NBA. Uh, Spurs. I know that our boy, uh, the big guy, likes the Spurs to win the whole thing. I don't think they're quite ready, but came back from 25 down last night. They have the Frenchman, the 9-foot Frenchman is still getting it done, and they own Oklahoma City. I'm not sure. Oh, Jason Tatum came back last night, had a double double. Good for him. He's a
Yep.
good kid.
Yep.
I still see that picture. He went to grade school with what's his name? Kachuk, Matthew Kachuk. There's a picture of them at like the lunch
Oh,
table.
that's right.
Yeah. So and they were doing well without him. They had a good chemistry thing going. So I like Boston to make a serious run if Tatum stays healthy. But what are your thoughts?
No, I think you're totally right. It's like getting a super duper star trade at the trade
The
deadline.
deadline. Oh, look at this. Look at what we
And
got coming
and
back.
and there was 298 days, which strikes me as very short. I don't know if they make lists now. They probably do of who came back the
Is that all
quickest.
that was? Wow.
298 days. So good for him. He's been playing 5-on-5 for a month, they say. So that's arguably more incredible if he's actually playing 5-on-5. But the Celtics have without him the second best record in the East. Um, and you talk about Wemby and the Spurs, they're down 25 yesterday, but on Thursday night, they beat the Pistons by 15. And the Spurs are 6-1 against OKC and Detroit this year. And when you're looking at matches, I know Perkins, you're right. You're talking about Perkins said they're going to win the whole thing this year. I think it's a possibility. I'm not as high on it as he is just because you don't know what happens in the playoffs.
Sure.
And I don't know how many, if any, Spurs have been on. Spurs are real good and they have a lot of talent besides Wemby, but I think they're young and I don't know how good they're going to be. Do they have
They're
any
young.
championship winners?
Right.
And the West is loaded. I think in the East now, I don't know. I think the Pistons are the best team. Um, and then the Celtics. The Knicks are kind of in there. The Knicks they lose to OKC by 3, but then they beat Denver in Denver by 39. It's apparently the highest, tied for the highest loss the Nuggets have ever had at home. And Jokic got his because
Did
Jokic always
Jokic
gets
play? I
paid.
mean, what happened there?
No, Jokic was playing. He played well, and I think Murray, I don't know what part of the game that was. He had looked to me like a bad ankle sprain. But I mean, not that they're coming back, they were getting killed. That's the old, you take everybody out when you're losing by, 25. Well, not 25 if you're the Clippers, obviously. The Clippers, you see them every week. They almost do some incredible thing, and you look at their record, they're still 2 games under 500. Kawhi's playing well, but I thought they'd be better. He had 30 points, 9 rebounds yesterday. I'm sorry, yeah, yesterday against the Spurs. But the Spurs are tough. Wemby, well, you know what I said here, and my son thought it might be a little nutty that he's the one guy I've seen in the last 40 years that I thought could score 100 in a game. Now, he's not a greedy guy. I don't know if he's ever going to go out for it. Don't forget, apparently, there's no film of Wilt getting 100, but
I'm
depending on
not sure
which
that
one.
I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not sure that happened.
Um,
There's no tape of it. It was played like in Hershey.
Hershey,
He
Pennsylvania.
had a piece of
Well,
paper that Bill Campbell, I think, gave him to a 100 on it. Yeah, a little sketchy there,
well,
Will. A little sketchy.
well, the Knicks said that they were trying to give Wilt the ball all the time. The greatest thing in that one is I think Wilt was 28 for 32 from the free throw line, and that's how he got 100. And I'm willing to bet he never came close to that in the game, 28 for 32 from the foul line, because he was a terrible free throw shooter.
Yeah.
But whatever. I think the Spurs, I don't know, from a championship perspective, with no real tough games in a playoff atmosphere, I think that would be tough. They talk about hockey being the second season, but basketball's the second season as well. We'll just have to see. And nothing against Wemby. He's already a Hall of Famer in my book. But he's kind of been injury prone. He's kind of been injury prone. He's had a few injuries, that blood clot thing or whatever he
Yeah,
had.
yeah, yeah.
So, you know, we'll see what happens. But
Fun to
there's a lot
watch.
going on in the NBA now.
It's fun to watch. Yeah, and I know baseball season is a little bit away, and they're in that baseball tournament that they all live for but get injured in. So
No comment. Please
yeah, I
don't get
know, I
hurt.
know.
Please
Sorry,
don't get
we
hurt.
talked. Good stuff, bro. No obituaries this week, so I guess that's a good thing. But great stuff. We'll reconvene next week and catch Steve's stuff on his daily Facebook forum page. Speaking of sports with Steve Kallas on this podcast, also on YouTube and all the audio outlets, Spotify, Apple, etc. You can catch me on Twitter at Staszak975 or on Instagram at Staszak4799. Appreciate you watching, folks. Have a great, safe, and healthy weekend. Selection Sunday next week, Steve. We'll start talking some little college basketball. Have a good one, bro.
Always a pleasure, Joe.
You too, pal. We'll talk to you, folks. Yeah, I appreciate you watching.